Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody? Welcome to Wednesday night AI Learning Lab live. We are live here from the $20 million production studio. If you're new here, you probably don't know that. This just looks like a crappy home office. That takes armies of people to make it look that natural. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Salon, the AI Learning Lab inside the AI Salon. I hope you're all doing great. We had some exciting Google I/O was yesterday, and they made some exciting announcements. So if if you're not paying attention to this stuff on a daily basis like I am, then you may not know about that. So we'll talk about some of the stuff they talked about there. Um, Danielle's in the house. Silver Fox is in the house. Oh, by the way, if you're new to this AI Salon, streaming inside the AI Salon, if you want to find the comments, where to comment, I think that's down here. No, where to comment is underneath the AI Learning Lab logo up here. So click on that. And then where to pop this window out, if you want to pop this window out and surf other areas in the AI Salon, that's down here. So the relevant buttons are here. So go play. And then if you figure out the commenting, pop a comment in the comments, and I'm happy to answer those. But there were a lot of announcements yesterday at the Google event. The one thing that's kind of amazing, this was one of my pet peeves with Google in the early days of this Gen AI stuff, was they would make announcements for stuff that you couldn't go play with, or you couldn't find, and they got much better at that. But they're kind of returning to their old wily ways. So this new video model that's available in Gemini, if you go to the website gemini.google.com, they give you like 3 videos. You can make 3 videos a day. But if you go to their app, you can just make videos, a ton of them. And then if you go to like AI Studio, their developer site, you can't make any. They're like, you're maxed out until whenever. So they're a mess. They're still a mess. Here's the thing about Google, right? If you've been around for a while, they started as a startup and they used to be scrappy. They're just a big old massive corporation now, and so they act like it. So some things are really good, some things are an absolute mess. But we'll go look at some of that stuff. If you're new to the AI Salon, so welcome to the AI Salon. Over here on the sidebar of the AI Salon, this is the AI Salon community. There's lots and lots of stuff to do. There's all sorts of events that are happening. There's a thing called the AI Salon Mastermind, which is a subscription area of the salon. We've got all sorts of separate events in there for Mastermind members. We've got the Mastermind Practice Lab, which we've got a session tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So if you're in the Mastermind, don't forget, that's tomorrow with Sid Hargrove and myself. We've got a workshop going on right now about separating your identity from your job, which as AI starts to muck with all of our jobs, it's going to muck with all of our identities. Brandon is teaching a workshop, producer Brandon, on Lovable and making apps with Lovable inside the Mastermind. So there's lots going on. There's also just all sorts of, clubs and groups and, interest groups. So jump in there. Good morning. Am I late? Mr. IT is in the house. You are not that late. We are 4 minutes in, so we're just getting started. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you are not new here, welcome. Welcome, everybody. If you have any questions or if you have any experience, if you've played around with these new tools and have any experience and want to share that with the group, pop it in here and say hello. I am without a producer tonight, but that's less of an issue now that we're not doing multiple screens and multiple streams and things like that. But I will do my best to pay attention to comments. I will do my best to share things and have a lot of good stuff. All right, beautiful, fantastic. Let's see. I'm a newbie. Yeah, you're a newbie. We're all newbies in the end. We're all trying to figure this stuff out. All right, I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully it allows me to share my screen for longer than 30 seconds. But let's see. You know what I want to do? Let's go over to X and start looking at some of the announcements, because boy, there's just a lot of stuff. What's that? We're building a moon base. Okay. Elon Musk is excited about that. Brandon Tidd, the Zendesk after party. That's where producer Brandon's going to be tonight. I think someone's been playing around in Nano Banana or the new ChatGPT image maker. The other thing is producer Brandon couldn't figure out why his hotel was so cheap, and he got a hotel on Colfax Avenue, which, if you know anything about Colfax Avenue in Denver, you know why his hotel was cheap. Quick fix for Gemini 3.5 flash. Drop the price in half. No one will complain. Let's go. Look what's going on. Everyone's still talking about Eric Schmidt getting booed in his commencement speech. Lovable is doing some interesting stuff. They just added connectors, Google connectors. So you can start doing all sorts of really cool, sophisticated apps with Lovable. What Gen X skill would confuse Gen Z? Drinking from a hose. Outside. Okay, this note from Sam Altman, I think, is worth paying attention to. Three of the things we are most excited about: AGI accelerating research, AGI accelerating companies, and then personal AI accelerating everyone achieving their goals, which Sam followed this up with a comment. Let's see. Where did he put it? Where? Oh, maybe it's in replies. Hang on a sec. Okay. So he must have done it in a different post. So a couple of things happened. AGI accelerating company. So yesterday, Mr. Altman, let's see, Y Combinator. We'll go Altman. Let's see. Here we go. So yesterday, Sam Altman offered $2 million in tokens in exchange for equity in Y Combinator backed startups. So giving away $2 million in tokens. That's a lot of tokens. Tokens are the things that generate all the stuff when you're using generative AI. And spending $2 million in tokens is a lot, right? Well, if you're starting to use agentic tools where you're just having something like Codex spin up agents and spin up sub agents and then go work on its own, you're going to burn through lots and lots and lots of tokens. So probably, tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars in tokens. So $2 million is pretty significant. So that's tied to his post about AGI. Let's see. Math. Solve. Second thing that happened today. see. Let me get rid of Altman. Let's see. Mathematics problem. 6 hours ago, OpenAI. Today, we share a breakthrough on the planar unit distance problem, a famous open question first posed by Paula Erdos in 1946. For nearly 80 years, mathematicians believed the best possible solution looked roughly like square grids. An OpenAI model has now disproved that belief, discovering an entirely new family of construction that performs better. This is apparently the new model coming from OpenAI, and one of the significant things about it, I wonder if Altman replied to this. He might have. I don't know. I don't see it here. But let me go back to Altman. And by the way, am I still sharing? Yes, right? Yes. Anthropic hires. Oh, yeah. Andrej Karpathy went to Anthropic. Fascinating. Okay. This post from Altman. So, Sam likes to do these cryptic posts, right? Today it was great to announce. Oh, it's right in this post. Okay, so he goes, AGI accelerating research. Today it was great to announce the unit distance result. So that's AGI accelerating research. Yesterday it was great to announce that we're offering $2 million in OpenAI credits to every Y Combinator company. That's AGI accelerating companies. We need to increase our efforts on the third, personal AGI accelerating everyone in achieving their goals. OpenAI tends to release new stuff on Thursdays. Tomorrow's Thursday. Google I/O was yesterday. So doesn't guarantee that we're going to have an announcement from them tomorrow, but it's possible. But I would think that either GPT 5.6 or GPT 6 is probably coming in the next month. Maybe tomorrow. So we'll see. But it looks quite amazing. So let's go to Google I/O and go look at some of the vidges. Oh, this was pretty cool. Google Gemma. So Gemma is Google's open source, or is it open source? Yeah, open source large language model, and you can control a robot. And then they also have this 3D printable robot on GitHub. So you can basically use Gemma to control this thing, and you can go print your own robot and I guess buy all the components and build it. So if you go to @Google Gemma, you can go look at the plans for a robot. Go build a robot. Here's the thing. I think it is in all of our interests in the next 6 months to a year is to get educated on hardware that can run powerful large language models, learn which ones are out there, which ones are available, what the capabilities are, what can run on any given piece of hardware. If you can afford it, invest in some hardware that can run decent models. AMD just announced a new box yesterday that's in the $2,000 to $3,000 range that can run 200 billion parameter models. It's a 128 gigabyte machine. It's like a Mac Mini from AMD. Apple will likely be coming out with them. I think the local large language models are going to be big. They're coming. Google is putting agents in search. They're really transforming how search works, which is interesting. Let's see. Oh, this is good. Somebody made us a little Google I/O. They probably built this in ChatGPT. The core AI models, Gemini, Omni. That's what we're going to play with tonight. World model that simulates physics. Any input to any output with iterative video edits. Omni Flash Live now. And then Omni Pro is coming. So I'll explain about that when we go play with it. Gemini 3.5 Flash, Frontier level 4 times faster. I don't know that these two things are separate. They may be, but they may not be. But I think Omni is in the Gemini 3.5 Flash. Maybe I'm high on that. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. That I actually don't know. That was confusing yesterday. But they said Gemini Omni is inside gemini.google.com and it's inside the Gemini app. So I don't know which one is which, but it says it's Flash that's in there. The agentic era, Gemini Spark is a dedicated virtual machine running in the cloud that can run multiple agents doing tasks on your behalf. So this is just like OpenClaw, just like Hermes, just like Codex, just like Claude Code and Claude Cowork. Gemini Spark is in there. Gemini for Mac OS is coming. That's not out yet, but it's coming. Developer tools, they launched the new Anti-Gravity 2.0, which is getting some slack. I saw some people bitching about that, but if you're into coding, it's their new IDE. It looks like they've stolen the interface from Codex. So the Frontier Labs stealing from one another continues. Search and commerce search engines spin up dedicated agents that monitor and act on results 24/7 on your behalf. Search agents, generative UI, search codes and deploys live custom widgets. All of that stuff is coming, I think. And then there's a universal shopping cart. There was some hardware announcements, audio glasses, augmented reality displays. New TPUs, the 8th generation TPUs. So one of the things that Google's doing that's really smart is they're getting out from under NVIDIA and making their own chips. So they control their own destiny for how much compute they have. There were some interesting things on the creativity front. Docs Live is a Google Doc that you can just talk to. And it's not just transcribing what you're saying. You can just talk to. We'll go watch a video on that one. Actually, that one's pretty interesting. Stitch is a UI designer that looks good. Google Pics, where you can edit images iteratively, is really interesting. And then there was some interesting stuff on the science front. So they put out a lot of stuff yesterday. Okay. Let's go look at Google's Docs Live presentation because I think that one's fun to look at.
You can just verbally break down whatever is.
Let me just pause for a second and jump over back to you guys. Let's see. I'm glad we're over I/O. We're going over I/O. So many new announcements. Hang on, let me do this. Let's see. Pixelated and bad video. Omni is the multimodal. It's a naming problem. Yeah. Okay. Is Kyle streaming on any other platforms? I'm not. So at 7:10, I do the AI Learning Lab pre-show on 4 different platforms: TikTok, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And then the Learning Lab happens live inside the AI Salon. So that's where I go over there. I'm glad we're going over I/O. There were so many announcements. It's a lot. I thought it was consolidating. I want a friend of mine to join. Yeah. So they can go to the AI Learning Lab TikTok channel or YouTube channel. The most recent 2 weeks of these lives live inside this channel in the AI Salon. The lives happen inside this channel, inside the AI Salon. And then there's a 2-week delay where the archives will live out on the YouTube channel. So we're going to still have the whole historical YouTube channel, which is we've got, 2,000 hours of programming from the beginning of basically ChatGPT till now. So that's going to stay. But the most recent 2 weeks are inside the AI Salon. The whole idea here is we want people inside the AI Salon communicating with one another so you can play with the chats here. You can also chat within the community, right? If you haven't introduced yourself yet, go to the introduce yourself space and do that. If you've been here for a while, go check out the introduce yourself space and say hello to people that are joining. So if you're new here, welcome. If you've been here for a while, welcome. It's great to have you all. Too many names. Let's see. Was there a demo of Spark or Flow for AI video editing? I think there was. I was in the middle of a meeting at work, and I was trying to pay attention to Google I/O while that was happening. So I did miss some stuff, but we'll go look at that. So Flow and Spark are two things we want to look at, and then we'll play with the image generation model. Lori Blair, I just made one and the images were good. Didn't follow direction 100%, but the sound effects were great. Oh, the video. Yep. Hello, everyone. Last meeting finally over. Welcome, welcome. Source Camp, the video quality is really messing up. Yep. I always look for Kyle to unpack this stuff, make it digestible. I will try my best. All right, beautiful. So let's go back over here. Let's watch this. This is the Google Docs Live. I don't think this is available yet, but I could be wrong on that.
Is on your mind, and let Gemini do the rest. Let's see it in action with the demo from our.
Wait, that's just someone filming it from the audience. There's probably a better version of that. Yeah, here we go.
Create a doc with Gemini before, you'd have to type up a really precise prompt. With Docs Live, you can just verbally brain dump whatever is on your mind and let Gemini do the rest. Let's see it in action with a demo from our product team. This is all in real time, not sped up.
All right, let's try this out. So I just remembered I'm doing an alumni talk for my high school's career day tomorrow. I need to come up with some talking points to explain what I do for a living as a software engineer, but I'm not really sure where to start. Oh, actually, can you just pull my resume from Drive? Although that might be boring. Maybe can you come up with some funny analogies so it'll be more of an engaging talk for the students? Oh, and also, I think the school sent me an email. I think the subject is something like career day logistics. Maybe just grab the details from there, throw them at the top of the doc so I know where to go and what time to get there. Let's just update those requirements and turn this straight into a draft. This is cool, but it's a little dense. Maybe format the analogies as a table so it's a little easier for me to scan. And also add a note to tell the story about how my brother inspired me to become a software engineer, sort of at the top of my doc, and bold it so I don't miss it.
Yep. Did it do it? There's the table.
Yeah, that looks great.
A new feature called Docs Live.
So that's pretty sweet. That's again, I think, I think we're in this really interesting, this is what we talked about on Monday. We're in this interesting transition period between here's an interesting thing. If you're in the AI salon, if you're brand new here and you're brand new to AI, the benefit of you being late to AI is if you're feeling like, oh my God, I have to catch up. These people know so much more than I do because they've been playing with all these tools for this long. Getting up to speed on generative AI starting today is probably not a bad way to go. So for those of us that have been playing with this stuff for 3.5 years, the era that we're exiting is an era where it was really important to learn these discrete tools where we had to learn how to use each one and what their quirks were, and we had to learn how to prompt them and get a response, and then we would either take them out of generative AI and go modify them elsewhere, or we would just prompt over and over again, and we had to manage all these different tools. We're moving into an era where you're just going to be able to talk to these things, and then they are going to go off and do work on your behalf, and they're going to be using models that are so good that the work that they bring back for the most part is going to be good. We're not there yet. We're in this weird transition space in between. but I look at this Docs Live product, and it's like it's not just transcribing whatever we say into a thing, or it's not just transcribing it into a prompt and then giving it something. It is figuring out what you're saying, and if you've got it connected to all of your Google Docs and things like that, it's it's pulling data, and it's being smart about how it's doing it. I think that's the world we're moving into, right? It it starts to look more and more and more like Jarvis. Like you can just talk to this thing and it'll go do it. So you're not going to need to know so much about prompting. You're not going to need to know so much about all these other things. I think there's an advantage in understanding how we got here, but I don't think you're going to need it. So that one's fascinating. So Google. So the other thing we wanted to look at was, what was it, Stitch that you put in there, Sonny? Was it Stitch you wanted to see? Latecomers skip the goop. Yeah, but we're still in the goop. If you're just getting started now, you're starting in the goop. It's going to be confusing starting now. It won't be confusing starting a year or two from now. It'll be confusing starting now. Because some people will be telling you, you need to learn prompt engineering. Buy my prompt library. Right? There's a whole economy over for the old way. Spark. Okay. Gemini Spark. It's your 24/7 personal AI agent that helps you navigate your digital life, taking action on your behalf under your direction. It runs on Gemini 3.5 and is built on anti-gravity. So Spark, what Spark is anti-gravity. So do you remember, if you've been here in Ye Olde AI Salon for a while, about 3 or 4 months ago, anti-gravity came out, and I got all excited and I said, I'm going to learn anti-gravity. And then I tried to learn it, and it was so complicated, and it's so much designed for pure engineers that I bailed on it. I'm like, that's crap. It's not. If you're an engineer, it's fine. It might be great, but if you're just like me, just a dude, it's too much. Spark is the consumer version of anti-gravity that uses anti-gravity under the hood, but it puts a consumer front end on it. So let's go look at this video. How long is this video? Oh, that's just a GIF. All right, let's see if there is a demo movie of it. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I thought there was a demo. I'm pretty sure there is. That's a GIF. That's a GIF. I can see all obstacles in my way. Let's look at Google Spark demo. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. This is where we need producer Brandon to go find me the demo. But he is this it? Google I/O, agentic driven experience. Yeah, this is Spark. Okay.
Entire custom stateful.
Here we go.
Some projects aren't one-off questions. They're ongoing tasks. So Search now has the ability to help you create entire custom stateful experiences, tools, trackers.
This isn't Spark, by the way. This is agents within Search.
Dashboards. I think of these sort of like building my own little mini apps with Search, and I've been making a ton of them. And they're especially awesome for those long-running tasks where you want to keep coming back, like planning a wedding or managing your home move. So, what do you think? Should we build one together? Yeah? All right. Let's do a demo. So I'm constantly trying to figure out on Thursday what it is I should do with my family every weekend. And so here's a search I actually just did about fun things to do with my family this weekend. And of course, you get great response here from AI mode. But here's something new. Search proactively offers to build a weekend planner for me. And similar to how you just saw Search create these generative UI and interactive visuals completely from scratch, Search can code this up right now. Let's do it. All right. So for the sake of today's demo, we thought you might want to see a peek under the hood. So as this builds, you're going to see real-time thinking steps and code generation flowing in. And here, Search is thinking about the right components to build, not just what information to fetch, but the best way to present it. And I've chosen to securely connect Gmail, Photos.
So just so you can notice what's happening here over to the right. So this is a modified version of Google Search. It said, hey, do you want to turn this into an app, right? So he didn't have to come up with the app idea. Search came up with it. Over here to the right now, it's generating code. So if you've ever used Codex or Claude, where it creates the I forget what it's called in Claude, but creates the code over to the right. You've got your prompt over to the left. They've all got this similar kind of interface where your interaction is on the left, the stuff it's generating is on the right. So this is just yet another way in to this kind of agentic AI, where the bulk of the token generation is happening independent of your participation of it, right? The world we're exiting is I've got to go to ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. I put in a prompt. It gives me a response. I look at that. I say, is it good or not? We're moving into this thing where he literally just clicked a button, and this is now figuring out all the stuff it thinks he wants. And this is not Spark, by the way. This is app development within Google Search.
Calendar. So it's using personal intelligence to make my suggestions even more helpful. That means referencing Gmail receipts, calendar, and much more to personalize. And boom, here it is. Looks like it's ready. All right, got a beautiful planner, already taken into account driving times and weather. And Search knows that I have 2 kids and that they love animals and that my oldest is learning to play chess. So actually, the second one here is kind of awesome for my oldest, so I'm going to go ahead and heart that. But 2 kids, got to make them both happy. So I'm going to lock in the Happy Hollow Park and Zoo right there. And because this syncs with my calendar, you can see it's already blocked off my afternoon to meet a friend to watch this game down here. And below, it's got all of these cool restaurant reservations and beautifully laid out on maps. Some projects.
Okay, so let me come back to this for a second. So I think this is worth talking about, and I want to see we can't see that. You haven't been sharing your screen. Oh, Jesus. Hello. This is a professional. Kyle, we can't see. Kyle, we can't see. Let's see. Hang on. Let me share with you some of the comments that I'm getting here. Kyle, we can't see your screen. Kyle, can anyone pin this comment? You're not sharing, Kyle. Fire him. We can't see. Kyle, we pinned Sonny's. Who pinned Sonny's comment? Please, a comment that we can't see. This is all me. Let's see. You haven't been sharing your screen. We can't see that. Oh, no. I'm at the Doom Center of Buffering. Okay. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to play this video again so that you can see it. I'm going to take Sonny's comment off there. We've been trying to tell you this for 15 minutes. Listen. Here's the thing about the AI Learning Lab. If you're new to the AI Salon and you're new to the AI Learning Lab, one of the things we talk about is embrace the jank. You've got to embrace the imperfections of AI and celebrate them, because I don't know, in a year or two, it's just going to be perfection and there's going to be nothing broken. It's going to be Shangri-La. And we'll look back on these times fondly. Same with the AI Learning Lab. At some point, we're going to hit perfection here, but not now. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go look at a thing that is not Google Spark. but this is the let's see. This is dynamic app development inside Google search that is not out yet but is coming.
Aren't one-off questions. They're all there. Some
Okay. let me just make sure you can see now I'm sharing, right? Embrace the jank because next year will be Shangri-La quote of the day. We'll be laughing about this night for a long, long time. Listen, here's the good news. Please tell producer Brandon he is needed and loved because he would have been post-it noting me and that wouldn't have gone on for 15 minutes. Okay, you can see what I'm sharing. You can pick up what I'm putting down. So we'll watch this again.
Some projects aren't one-off questions. They're ongoing tasks. So Search now has the ability to help you create entire custom stateful experiences. Tools, trackers, dashboards. I think of these sort of like building my own little mini apps with Search, and I've been making a ton of them. And they're especially awesome for those long-running tasks where you want to keep coming back, like planning a wedding or managing your home move. So, what do you think? Should we build one together? Yeah? All right. Let's do a demo. So I'm constantly trying to figure out on Thursday what it is I should do with my family every weekend. And so here's a search I actually just did about fun things to do with my family this weekend. And of course, you get great response here from AI mode. But here's something new. Search proactively offers to build a weekend planner for me. And similar to how you just saw Search create these generative UI and interactive visuals completely from scratch, Search can code this up right now. Let's do it. All right. So for the sake of today's demo, we thought you might want to see a peek under the hood. So as this builds, you're going to see real-time thinking steps and code generation flowing in. And here, Search is thinking about the right components.
Okay, so this is where I stopped before and was talking a lot. Let me just make sure I'm still sharing.
Components to build, not just what information to fetch.
Let's see. Am I? Embrace the jank. Okay, right now it's Jankri-La. Okay, so you are seeing this. Okay, cool. So this is a thing I was talking about before. So he was in Search. It said, hey, I want to build you an app. He said, okay. And it's basically got this interface that's becoming familiar, right? Where you code the thing over, you prompt the thing over here, it writes code over here. So that idea is starting to show up everywhere. My prediction is where we move is all of this stuff is going to keep happening, but it's going to increasingly drift into the background, right? Like all this code is going to be generated. All these interfaces are going to be dynamic, but they're going to happen instantly. And it's just going to be, some version of just you get whatever application you need will be generated for you on the fly. We're not there yet, but this is a step in that direction.
The best way to present it. And I've chosen to securely connect Gmail, Photos, and Calendar, so it's using personal intelligence to make my suggestions even more helpful. That means referencing Gmail receipts, Calendar, and much more to personalize. And boom, here it is. Looks like it's ready. All right, got a beautiful planner, already taken into account driving times and...
Which, by the way, regardless of how good or not this planner is, the fact that it was done that quick, what was that, a minute? 45 seconds, something like that? That's not bad.
Weather. And Search knows that I have 2 kids and that they love animals and that my oldest is learning to play chess. So actually, the second one here is kind of awesome for my oldest, so I'm going to go ahead and heart that. But 2 kids, got to make them both happy, so I'm going to lock in the Happy Hollow Park and Zoo right there. And because this syncs with my calendar, you can see it's already blocked off my afternoon to meet a friend to watch this game down here. And below, it's got all of these cool restaurant reservations and beautifully laid out on maps.
All right, there it is.
Some projects aren't one-off.
So you saw that, right? Voice activation, definitely Jarvis-like. I started asking my Alexa for stuff, and it doesn't answer like I want it to. This is, so Siri and Alexa, because those are deterministic, logic tree systems, are going to be increasingly disappointing because you just can't anticipate all the stuff people want to ask for. So today I got Jasper to create create application and tools and save them for later use. I think everything will become AI and everything will be dynamic. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Gareth. I think this is where we're headed. Again, we're in this goopy state right now, right? Where if you're someone like Gareth or someone, in here who's been geeking out on the tools and you do a bit deeper dive, you can go build all sorts of cool shit, but you have to understand the piece parts you're pulling from and how you're doing it. And what Google's showing today is this sort of weird in between where you're still seeing code being written, but then that code turns into an app that you just use. Like, what's not clear to me is how do you save those apps? If you want to modify that app, is that just is that weekend planner app something that he's going to use just this weekend and then we'll write a new one next weekend? Is he going to save that? At some point, does it become so good he's like, I'm going to sell that? Is anyone going to buy any apps anymore because they're just being dynamically generated? We don't know, right? We're in the goopy phase right now. We don't know what anything looks like. Intuit stock was at 805 last year. It's at 380 today. Ouch. Software, SaaS. Are you going to need this stuff? You're doing a Google search, how to do my taxes. Up will come a paid thing from Intuit and TurboTax. And then there'll be an organic thing from Google that says, would you like me to dynamically build you your own personalized tax preparing software? Sure. And then it just will. Oh my God, this is the perfection of MCP, cross app connectivity with that weekend planner. Search the calendar to maps to activity reviews. Yeah. This is the thing. So, okay. So Sonny, what you're pointing to is hard to get your head around. It's hard for me to get my head around. I mean, Sonny, like we built a lot of these websites that, the early websites, right? We built a lot of the early websites and the internet by and large operates the way we started building websites in the 90s. You type in a URL or you click on a hyperlink, takes you to a website, the page loads, it hooks to the database, it does a thing. And it's designed for human beings to click on shit. That's not going to be how websites are used anymore. The human interface will probably still be there, but will probably be like 0.003% of how that website gets used. Agents through MCPs will just go do shit on the websites. So websites are going to be built for agents to provide services for these dynamic interactions. It's crazy. It's crazy. A small percent of us are still in the group. The rest of the world is completely unaware. Yeah. And here's the thing. This is the thing that should be depressing to anyone here that's been here for a while. This will make you feel shitty. Anyone who's here that's brand new to this and is like, I don't have a clue, this will make you feel good. Largely, the skills that we've learned over the last 3.5 years are completely irrelevant. I know Chef Kelly disagreed with this yesterday, but if you look at what that thing just did, right? He was in a Google search. He had whatever version of search this was. It said, do you want me to make you a travel planner? It did, right? It connected all that shit. It wrote all the code. Let's see. Jasper can update the apps. It builds everything on Codex and gives me a link to run and start apps it creates. It is also labeled made by Jasper. If you don't know, Gareth, by the way, if you're interested in getting your hands dirty, there's some really interesting folks in the AI Salon. Gareth Hood's one of them, who are diving deep on this stuff. He created a Jarvis clone, Jarvis from the Iron Man fame, that just does stuff for him. He talks to it, it talks back to him, and it just does stuff for him. So he's in the middle of building this right now. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty swell. All right. That's why it's called the irregulars. We're pointing out what's irrelevant. Let's see. I disagree. We learned. Sharon, I don't think that the learning was irrelevant. I think that what we learned was irrelevant. Those are two very different things, right? The learning, understanding the intricacies and subtleties of where AI is good, where it's not, like all of that is invaluable. That will carry on. But like that whole idea of going to a tool, learning how to prompt it, learning how to massage the output, manually having to glue this shit together, that's the part that I think goes away. Lori Blair, me too. I think we learned a lot, and now it's just new stuff. Maybe. Please don't tell me my 3-year investment won't matter. No, I think, listen, anything that we've learned, don't get me wrong, anything that we've learned is valuable. You've learned how to think, right? And how to be critical about AI. That doesn't go away. But just the idea of people that are starting now, well, we're in the goop phase. People that are starting now, they're going to learn some of the old stuff, some of the new stuff, and the new stuff's going to be too complicated and janky, and people are just going to be confused. We're going to be confused. So a year from now, it won't matter. Right now, it still matters. Okay. Okay, the dev fireside today. One thing they kind of called out, even the people at Google are on the rocket ship we're on. They are learning and discovering part of AI every day. That's a really good point, Gareth. I think that there's a lot of anti-AI sentiment right now, and there's a lot of narrative about these frontier model companies, lab companies, have all these nefarious plans, and like they know what they're doing and they're out to get us. I don't think they barely know more than we know, right? Like we're here, they're out here. You know, most of the world is way back here. So we're able to sort of see quickly as they're building stuff, you know, they're sort of dropping little pellets out of their tractor that we're going, oh, that's cool. We're playing back here. They're up here. I don't think they know much more ahead of what they're building, right? I think they have general ideas, but I think it's like, let's see how far we can push this technology. Let's see how far we can push this approach. And then when they hit walls, they try to glue other shit together, and some works and some doesn't. They now have a specific time on the teams to go and experiment. I think that's smart. I think you'd have to. Why burn tokens and spin up your own personal software when we could pick from software templates they already have spun up? We should create a template marketplace. I don't know, Todd. That reeks to me of the current model. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think that the current model of we're going to build software for a specific purpose, and then people are going to go discover that software and they're going to use it for their own. I think that's going to be valuable for some time, but I don't think it's going to be valuable for long, 1 to 3 years maybe. And I think it's just going to be a decreasing value curve. If these tools get good enough to just dynamically generate the software you need in the moment, and it's personalized for you each time, and it's exactly what you need in the context that you need it, I don't know that anyone would seek out a marketplace. But I don't know. Like we're in full-on chat TMZ speculation territory. That's how it feels. They seem like they were just playing and sticking things together. Yep. Charles Adams, no matter how much they plan, they lose control as soon as they succeed at building something better than humans at everything. Right. The marketplace is called GitHub. For those that know what it is. Hi, AI fam. Hey, Joy Purdy. What's happening? Okay, so let's go see if we can find the Spark demo. I couldn't find one before, but let's see if we can find one. Is it? I don't think it's in this thread, is it? Oh, let's see. Is this it? Oh wait, I didn't share again, did I? Hang on. Calm down. Everybody calm down. Shut up. Shut up. Oh my god. Oh my god. You all are very funny. All right. So there's that. You can see that, right? Yes. Okay.
It's your personal AI agent that helps you navigate your digital life, taking action on your behalf and under your direction. It runs on dedicated virtual machines on Google Cloud, and it's 24/7. And yes, you can close your laptop. It's powered.
Which that's what OpenClaw was. That's what Codex is. That's what Cowork is, right? So this is Google's entry into the consumer 24/7 agent, your virtual employee.
Gemini 3.5 and the Google anti-gravity harness, which allows it.
He just said the Google anti-gravity harness. So the harness, if you hear people talking about a harness with these AI agents, you've got your models, and then ChatGPT is a harness, anti-gravity is a harness. So they're things that have other functions that call out to different tools. And the harness is serving as an orchestrator, basically, of all these other tools.
To perform long-running tasks easily in the background. Spark will integrate seamlessly with tools, starting with our own, and in the coming weeks with third-party tools through MCP. And you can work with Spark however is most convenient, in the Gemini app, or soon through email and chat. Let's have Josh come up.
All right, so it looks like there is a demo. Let's have Josh come up. Let's see if we can get Josh. Google Spark Josh.
Aren't one-off questions.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me just make sure you're all still seeing it. You're all seeing it, right? We're good? Let me see comments. Spark is not available to most people yet. I thought I heard. Yeah, one of the problems with these Google announcements is they're not super clear on when stuff's actually available. The incentives, they say there's no point at which it will ever stop. If none of them can stop, they eventually replace themselves. Google is weaving the thread through their ecosystem. All right, so let's go look at this little video. I don't think this is a demo, but let's look at it.
Yeah, that's right. If you know, you know, and you know the vibe. Cool as ice, baby, let me give you advice. Go ahead, shine high, like the stars do at night. Do you, baby? Ooh, that's right. And no, you can't stop now, no hesitation. I want that rotation. It's the new favorite.
Watch me move. Yeah, yeah. We ain't come to lose. Yeah, yeah. Through the highs and lows, we never fold. That's the truth. Yeah. We showing up and showing out. Yeah, that's right. Let's go. Let's give them what they need. Yeah, good energy. So watch me, just watch me. So watch me do it. Let's give them what they need. Yeah, good energy. So watch me, just watch me. Just watch me do it.
Yeah, that's just bullshit. Bullshit marketing, which is fine. Let's see, Josh Gray. Is this the guy from? No.
Document that have it today, that's normal.
Here we go. Is this Josh? New capabilities. Yeah, here we go. Okay. This is it. One more thing, just with the new capabilities of Spark in the Gemini app, Mac OS app. I need this yesterday. Okay, we're still there. Not sure if anyone have been to Google Labs yet. Yeah, Google Labs. I'm going to go check out Google Labs in a second. I need an AI vocabulary cheat sheet. Yeah, there's a lot. This is part of the goop phase right now, Mary, is that these two worlds that we're in, it was complicated enough when it was just discrete tools. But what's happening when they're starting to say things like harnesses and agents and just all of the stuff that's coming, what they're doing is they're mixing a bunch of tools together. And so it's getting more and more and more complicated. So yeah, we do need a vocabulary cheat sheet kind of thing. All right, let's go watch this video. But you're not wrong.
Using anti-gravity. They did over 100 features in less than 100 days. Whoa. Now, 2 weekends ago, we were hacking on the Mac app and we came up with something cool, and we wanted to sneak it into the show.
Oh, this is on the tail end of the Spark demo. This is the Mac OS. Just one more thing. This is some additional feature.
You all want to see it live? Yeah! All right. We've got a big summer trip coming up, and we've got to find a kennel for our 2 dogs. And here's a picture of our 2 dogs. There's Hank, looking good, and Louis Cinnamon, one of the most interesting names for a dog we've heard. What we're going to do, and remember we have to go to a new kennel, there's lots of paperwork. Allergies, vaccines, all the history you have to pull together. It's so painful. And so what you can do with this on Gemini on Mac OS is actually take a look at a bunch of documents like this. You'll be able to select them all and then long press the function key and just dictate the email to the kennel. So it works something like this. Hi there. I need to do a short boarding stay for my 2 dogs, Louis Cinnamon and Hank, starting this Thursday. Oh wait, no, actually it's this Friday. They've never stayed with you before, but they're very social dogs. And also, can you turn these files into a table with their details, allergies, recent vaccines, and make this email sound friendly so we make a good first impression? All right, I'm going to release the function key. You can see Gemini speaking at the bottom here on this macro. What it's done is because I've selected those files in Finder, using its multimodal understanding, it can go through the PDF, it can go through these images of their invoices, and it's all controlled by my voice. So it can actually take all that complex information. And look at that, there it is. It's got a table in line. It's also so amazing because it corrects, remember I said Thursday, no, scratch that Friday. It picks up that and automatically cleans up my input. All
right, so that's basically the same thing that they showed us with the Docs Live functionality. But in the Mac, he's over here in the Finder selecting documents and then pulls data out of the documents, puts it in context in that email. Pretty slick. All right, cool. Let's see the Gemini announcement, Google Spark. That's just a picture. All right. I'm going to stop looking for that because it's getting boring now. Let's see. Let's go look for Gemini Omni. So Gemini Omni is the world model. So let's see. Here's this video. This is what we'll look at. Let's go. Demis Hassabis.
I'm excited to announce Gemini Omni. Our new model that can create anything from any input. It combines Gemini's intelligence with the best of our generative media models for a new level of world understanding, multimodality, and editing. Models like Veo, Nano Banana, and Genie are able to create extremely realistic videos, images, and interactive simulations. Although not perfect, they already demonstrate some impressive notions of intuitive physics. And with Omni, we've now made even more progress. It's a step change in simulating things like kinetic energy and gravity. Previous systems would have found these concepts difficult. Gemini's world knowledge and reasoning really shine in Omni. It can translate complex ideas into highly accurate videos. So for example, you can give it a simple prompt like make a claymation explainer of protein folding and get this.
Proteins start as chains of amino acids. They fold into patterns like the alpha helix, and flat sections called beta sheets, forming a perfect three-dimensional shape.
But the initial generation is just the start. The creative process is rarely a single step. It's usually iterative. Just like Nano Banana redefined image editing, Omni gives you a more natural way to edit video with conversational language. What's really cool is you can give it your own videos, for example, this selfie, and change reality in a really fun way. You can easily adjust the details and style, or even add elements. And the whole scene morphs to reflect your new idea.
So let me come back here for a second. Let's see. This is the first. Oh, Omni. Yeah, Omni. This is the first I'm hearing about it. So here's the thing about Omni. It is available now. It ain't great. So there's Omni Flash, or their naming is screwed up. Gemini 3.5 Flash has the Omni model inside it. But I think it's called 3.5 Flash, but you don't even know that. If you go to gemini.google.com, or if you download the Gemini app, it's in there. Gemini Omni Pro ain't out yet. So what we're playing with is the cheaper, faster version of it. So I would imagine that some of the videos that they showed there might have been from the Pro model. I don't know. But it's still pretty impressive. And I'll show you some videos that I did. And I'll show you, there's another video here we'll look at here. But let me see what the comments are. Mary Carroll, this is the first I'm hearing about it. Remember we were wondering if Google would drop it into the game. I don't know which game you're talking about there. Oh, there was actually a really interesting game. I wonder if I still have that tab open. Hang on a sec. No, I don't have it. I am officially overwhelmed. I'm with you. World model. Okay. So when we talk about a world model, couple of important things. So there's a couple of clues. So that was Demis Hassabis. So Demis Hassabis is the CEO of DeepMind. DeepMind was acquired by Google. DeepMind is the group that did AlphaFold, which won Demis Hassabis the Nobel Prize for Chemistry because they predicted how all of the proteins in all of life are going to fold to like 95 or 7% accuracy, and he gave it away to the world. That's Demis Hassabis. So the fact that he is announcing Omni as an important, this is not just a video maker, right? So this Omni model he basically said anything in, anything out, meaning you can start with an audio input and come out with a video. You can start with a PDF input and come out with a PDF. You can write anything in, anything out. So that's pretty remarkable. Right now, what's being output are videos, but if you've got a model that understands the physics of what's in the video model, then the next logical conclusion after that is you're going to be able to output a 3D world that you can actually interact with. That is not just there's objects in a world that we can have programmatic physics applied to. It's that the world itself understands physics and understands all of what a large language model can understand. So we're going to be able to be in a world. So imagine being able to enter that video, the claymation protein folding thing that he talked about. You can just prompt it to say, give me a claymation explainer about protein folding. We're going to be able to be in a world where you're going to be able to interact with stuff that understands all of what it's doing. Like that's where this is headed. And so this is the first or maybe the next best version of a video model that really does understand all of what's in that video and what the relationships are between the things in that video and how they relate to concepts in the world. Anything in, anything out. So that's what a world model is. And it starts to, the implications of this, right now, if you've got a physical robot and you only have a large language model, the robot has to translate words into physical action. But if you have a model that understands more than just words, it understands physics and how the world works, then that robot is going to understand how the world works. It's not going to have to translate language into physical world. It's just going to understand physical world because the model can understand all that. So this is a fairly major transition. The implications of it are really hard for me to get my head around what it means. Like the more of this shit I learn, the more I'm like, yeah, we might live in a simulation. Because 3 years ago when people were like, I think we're living in a simulation, I'm like, that's not possible. There's too much detail. There's too much randomness that we just live in this world and all this stuff happens. That can't be. Well, we're sort of step changing toward being able to interact in a world where it can just understand shit, how the world works, and just make new shit in the simulation. So I don't know. What's this say? Chat offered me a living cheat sheet with these sections that I'm going to make into a daily update. It will determine new AI words I keep seeing. I like that. What they mean in normal language, where I saw it, why people are using it now, and how I might use it. That's really smart, Silver Fox. That's really good. I'm going to think in simple, large concepts. That's the only way I can look at the AI galaxy. That's smart. I'm reading The Infinity Machine right now. It's about Hassabis. It's an amazing book. Yeah, Demis Hassabis, if you haven't seen I forget what his documentary is called. There's a documentary on him where they started tracking him. Like he was a world-class chess player as a kid. And then he got bored with chess. He was like, yeah, I've kind of figured out chess. I could keep doing that, but I kind of want to, solve artificial intelligence. And so he got a game at like 17 at England's most prestigious game studio and created one of their most popular games where all of the characters were AI driven. He's an insane genius. All right. Demis was a chess prodigy. Yep. From a very poor family. Then he built AlphaGo. Yep. Yeah. In the documentary, there's the whole thing about them beating the AlphaGo guy. It's crazy. AlphaFold. Yep. Yep. Yeah. It's crazy. Okay. So let's see. Let me turn that off. All right, let's go look at a couple other videos here. So let me go back to sharing the screen. Let's see, Gemini Omni. Let's go Gemini Omni video. That's a 10. That we saw. This is a cool one. This is pretty cool. So it's doing audio as well as video. Build worlds. We're not there yet, but that's what's coming. All right, so let me go show you. Let me stop sharing this for a second. Let me share in a slightly different way. And I'll go show you some of the videos. I'll show you some videos I made. So, okay, a couple of things. So if you want to play with this, you can play with it in Google Flow. So if you go to labs.google.com, you can play with it in Flow. You need to probably have an Ultra subscription. There's really weird rate limiting with this right now. So you can play in Google Flow. You also have access to it in aistudio.google.com. You also have access to it in gemini.google.com. And then you also have access to it in the Gemini app. Now, all of the fancy ways to interact with this thing are severely rate limited. But if you just go to your Gemini app on your phone, I can just say, make me a documentary video narrated about the migration of monarch butterflies during their great migration, and use a David Attenborough type accent, but don't use his exact accent, because I just want it to be fictitious, but to sound like one of those kind of documentaries. All right. So I will, once that's, we'll make sure. Okay. So it says generating video. So it'll take about a minute. It's not too bad. So if you want to play with this, play with it in the Gemini app, because they don't seem to be rate limiting this, but they're rate limiting everything else. So if you played with it like at gemini.google.com and it was like, you can make 3 videos, and you're like, well, that's stupid. I agree. Video to video editing in real time. Yeah. I'm getting impressed with Omni as I used to be with Adobe in the early days. By the way, Adobe just cut a deal with DeepMind. Okay. So time out. Hold please. Wait, what? One of the things so okay. The AI haters, one of the things they hate is that all of these models were trained on all of the shit that's out on the internet. So all of the copywritten stuff. By the way, our video's done. Why is it not? Oh, let me sound down.
Each year, millions of monarch butterflies undertake an incredible journey. They fly thousands of miles, guided by an instinctual compass.
Hang on. Let me save this video and then we can actually go look at it.
Each year, millions of monarch butterflies undertake an incredible journey. They fly thousands of miles, guided by an instinctual compass. Each year, millions of monarch butterflies undertake an incredible journey. They fly thousands of miles, guided by an instinctual compass.
Okay, so now what I'm going to say is I'm going to go back into to Gemini. I'm going to say that video is great, but when you talk about them migrating thousands of miles, can you put up an accurate migration map as B-roll in between the butterflies flying? So this is that thing of where Demis Hassabis talked about, just like Nano Banana, you can edit things in context. You can now do that with video. Google is in Adobe for the last 4 months now as chat. Rate limit. Siri is getting worse by the day. No rate limit. I don't have to remember the numbers, letters, special characters. Just go find the app. Yeah, so just as mind-blowing, remember, was it last week or the week before we did the new ChatGPT image model that's really remarkable. Like this is going to be sort of the next version of that. And then here's the thing, I like, I'm all over the place. Let me lower the temperature for a second. The deal with Adobe. So everyone was up in arms about how these models were trained on everyone else's shit. Adobe kind of had the high ground and said, hey, we've only trained our stuff on licensed material or public domain material. Consequently, their image and video models sucked because they weren't trained on all the stuff. Everyone else, from Google to Midjourney to OpenAI, they've all trained them on just all the data, right? And they're finding ways to whitewash their data, but they were all trained on crappy data. So the fact that Adobe and DeepMind just did a deal probably says that Adobe's looking to have higher quality models available to their subscribers. So I don't know if that's going to damage their brand or not, because you have to be paying attention to what's happening. But Adobe's models are just going to start getting better because they cut this deal. So that's fascinating. All right, let me go show you some of the stuff that I've made in the past day with this thing. Let's see. I'm generating your video. It looks like it stopped. Try again. All right. I'm going to share my entire screen. Oh, wait. Hang on. I did not share my audio. Share my entire screen, share audio. Okay. So now right, here's all these videos. Let me go to this icons. Oh, it's a gallery. There we go. Okay, I don't like gallery view. There's icon view. Okay. All right. So you all know that I do the muscle car thing. So here's one of the first videos that I did in this new video model. So historically, when I would do a muscle car in an abandoned factory and then turn that into a video, the wheels wouldn't roll right. Like everything was wrong. The exhaust pipes would be coming out of the front of the car. They would just be a disaster. So here is prompt was a 69 GTO Judge in an abandoned factory, driven by a mysterious guy, screeches out of the factory. Right, that's pretty good. Then I did a kind of a joke thing on the rare Antilles, the Lesser Antilles picklebird.
Deep in the lush rainforests of the Lesser Antilles lives the incredibly rare picklebird. Its remarkable camouflage makes it nearly impossible to find.
So that was pretty good. Here was the Skittles salamander.
Here on the mossy branches.
Oh wait, here's this one.
But even more elusive is the Skittles salamander. Its skin is adorned with a dazzling array of bright spots. They serve as a brilliant and effective against the colorful backdrop of the jungle.
Right, and then here I did the symbiotic relationship between the two.
Here on the mossy branches, a strange alliance is formed. The picklebird provides a cleaning service, rid the salamander of unwanted parasites. In return, the bird gains a nutritious meal.
So that's not bad. I mean, again, these were just shitty prompts, right? And it did the narration, it did all that stuff. So then one of the things I wanted to try was taking a video of myself and turning that into other things. And I don't think I have the original video here, but let's see. This is sort of what it looks like. So I took the original video and I said, create the original video with monarch butterflies on me. And so it did this.
We're going to have some fun tonight on the AI Learning Lab. Join the pre-show at 7:10 p.m. Mountain Time.
So I don't know why it made it sideways like that. So I said, make it vertical. So then it did this.
We're going to have some fun tonight on the AI Learning Lab. Join the pre-show at 7:10 p.m. Mountain Time.
Right. So I ended up using this one and just rotating it manually. But why did it do that? I don't know. And then sometimes it used my voice and sometimes it didn't. So here's one where it used my voice.
We're going to have some fun tonight on the AI Learning Lab.
But it screwed up the script.
We're going to have some fun tonight on the AI Learning Lab. Join the pre-show at 7:10 p.m. Mountain Time. At 7:10 p.m. Mountain Time.
Here was one where it didn't use the voice at all. Right? Whatever. Then I said, put me underwater. And it's sort of me, but sort of not me, and sort of my voice, and sort of not my voice.
Welcome back to our underwater AI Learning Lab. We are exploring new depths with AI. It is truly a fascinating world.
Let's see. Then I had, have me standing on the beach.
We're going to have some fun tonight on the AI Learning Lab. Join the pre-show at 7:10 p.m. Mountain Time.
So there it kept my voice, but changed me into some older, skinnier dude. Maybe it's just trying to make me in shape. Then I did this dude.
We're going to have some fun tonight on the AI Learning Lab. Join the pre-show at 7:10 p.m. Mountain Time.
Horrible. And then the final one I did was this one.
We're going to have some fun tonight on the AI Learning Lab. Join the pre-show at 7:10 p.m. Mountain Time.
So again, all of these were fairly crappy prompts with fairly crappy results. So it's still janky, but it's a pretty impressive. It's a pretty impressive capability. All right, where are you going to make the videos for free? Go to the Gemini app. Let me see. Video downloaded. So let's see how it did. So what I asked it here was I asked it for to add a map to the migration video.
Each year, millions of monarch butterflies undertake an incredible journey. They fly thousands of miles, guided by an instinctual compass. Each year, millions of monarch butterflies undertake an incredible journey.
So that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. Sunny in labs.google/fx/tools/flow. That gets you to the flow tool. Again, all of their web-based tools that have access to this video model seem to be highly rate limited. So if you're paying $200 a month for Gemini Ultra, you probably have access to it there. If you're getting rate limited out, just download the Gemini app. They don't seem to be rate limiting this, which as soon as this, if anyone's from Google's in here watching this, they're probably going to turn this shit off. So go make some videos now. My app says it's not free though to make videos. Again, their product marketing and their product rollout strategy is horrible. So it's possible you can't play with this. It might be that I don't know why I'm able to play with this here, but not anywhere else. Like when I went into Google Labs earlier, it wouldn't let me make videos. Anyway, okay. It's coming up to the top of the hour. You have to be a Google storage customer to get the Gemini app. Oh, I didn't know that. All right. So go get yourself some Google storage and you can get the Gemini app. Again, their product marketing is a fucking disaster. It's just it's all over the place, right? It's the result of all these different divisions within this huge corporation. Just they need an angry Gen Xer sitting in the corner going, "Stop it. Stop. Make a single rule. When we roll things out, here's how it works." But there's too many fiefdoms. Okay. Thank you all so much. Hope you enjoyed tonight. Please go check out the different spaces in the AI Salon. We're here. As complicated as this stuff is, it's going to get more complicated. Things are moving fast. Being connected, talking, asking questions, pointing out that I wasn't sharing my screen for 15 minutes. These are all really important things. Please connect with one another in between these meetings. Like the whole purpose of the AI Learning Lab is for us to be in a discussion together. We've now moved this inside the AI Salon so we can continue that discussion in between these moments, okay? Share what you're learning. Share like anything that you can that might help other people. If you see people that are new that are asking questions, do me a favor. Please connect with them. Say hello to people. Welcome them in, okay? Really, really important. This was awesome. Thank you very much. I have the Gemini app. Anywho, never mind. Okay, good. I have the Gemini app and I made a video. Great. What am I missing here? Had to leave for a second. You're not missing anything. If you can make videos in your Gemini app, then you seem to have access to this new model that does all this crazy ass stuff. Again, the video model that's in Gemini.google.com, Gemini, the Gemini app, and Flow are all this new Gemini 3.5 Flash / Omni. The Flash model is the smaller, jankier model. The Omni Pro model isn't out yet. They said it'll be coming sometime. That's probably because that one's really expensive for them to run, right? So they're probably going to limit that to the ultra users, the $200 a month users, things like that. Danielle says she can't access the Omni Flash stuff that came out today. Okay, again, Gemini app says it's not free to make videos. Yeah, it's their product marketing's all over the place. Okay, that's it. So tomorrow, if you're a Mastermind member, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, we have the practice lab. So Sid Hargrove and myself host that. Please come tomorrow. Even if you haven't been in a while, but you're part of the Mastermind, come to the practice lab. Getting ourselves calmed down and focused and intentional as all this chaos happens with these tools accelerating is actually really important. So that's one of the things we're doing in there. So please come join that. There's probably some other stuff coming up. I don't have producer Brandon telling me what to do, but please go check out events. At the top of the list over here is the events tab. Go check that out. I think there's an LOL. There's a special kind of 15-minute LOL happening on Saturday that Vicky's putting on. So please go check that out. Yay, Mastermind Practice Lab. Beautiful. The best place to be on Thursday mornings. I agree. All right. I updated the app and now it's running the new model. Beautiful. Beautiful. Update your app. Agreed. Calm down. Tone down the temperature. Thank you. Phew. Okay. I know. And I've been a little ampy tonight because there's new stuff and none of this matters. Come to the practice lab and we'll talk about centering ourselves and breathing. Yes, 1 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern time is Vicky's 15-minute talks. Beautiful. This coming Saturday. Okay, great. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you all beyond what you know, and I will see you Friday. So Friday we've got office hours at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, right here in the salon. I'll also post about it on LinkedIn. That's where I primarily market that. And then Friday night date night will be an Ask Me Anything. So think about questions that you might have for Friday. As you start playing with these tools, gather up your questions, bring them Friday, and I will do my best to answer them. Okay? Thank you all so much. Have a beautiful night. Good night.